All of you bake. If not you, your mom must bake, your elder sister, elder brother, someone in the family must be baking. Or even if you are not baking, I am sure you'll end up with a lot of extra cake on your birthdays or when you buy from outside. So what do you do with the extra cake? You really do not want to eat it as a cake and you are not quite happy throwing it out. What would you do then? I have just the solution for you. You can make cake pops. All you need is some leftover cake and some frosting. If you do not have frosting, go in for some chocolate sauce. You can make yourself some buttercream and you can whip up a batch of cake pops. You will like it, your friends will like it, and it's a delicious treat on its own. For making a cake pop, all you would need, like I said, is some leftover cake. I have a cake here, actually scraps of cake that I had made the other day, and it's a lovely moist chocolate cake. It is moist on its own, but then I need some moisture to hold it, to get it to hold its shape. So what I am going to do is I am going to add a bit of chocolate frosting. I had ganache left over from the other day also, and it's perfect stored in the fridge. I am going to add that to my cake to use it as a binding agent to add some moisture to my cake pop. It's nice and powdered now, and now let's add the ganache. Ganache is basically just equal portions of chocolate and cream. You can use dark chocolate, you can use milk chocolate. If you are using white chocolate, just take it in the ratio of 1:3. 3 portions of white chocolate and 1 portion of cream. That is, if you are going for 750 grams of white chocolate, go in for 250 to 300 grams of cream. You mix it together in the microwave, heat it, mix it well so that it becomes a homogeneous mixture, and then you can store it outside till it's set or store it in the fridge. I have now added the chocolate ganache to it and I am mixing it well. If you feel that the cake pop meat needs more moisture, feel free to add the ganache as you please. But don't make it too watery, otherwise it will not hold the shape. I am going to knead it in nicely till I can make a ball with it. This is how your cake dough should look like. Once you have your dough set, it's nice and moist, use your hands to round it up into small balls. Cake pops are basically small balls of cakes with a pop stick, a cake pop stick right in the center, coated in chocolate. So what I am going to do is, if you are making it for a party, you can measure it out using a weighing scale. I am going to eyeball it. I am going to take a small piece of cake dough and I am going to roll it up nicely using my hands. Apply a bit of force, roll it in tight and smooth. And place it on a plate. Let's do that again. You're going to roll it up nice and tight into a smooth round ball. Cup your hands like this so that it becomes a smooth round ball. Place it on your plate. I'll do this with the remaining cake dough, and let's say as of now we'll get around 8 to 10 cake pops with around half a 6-inch cake. I have made 3 cake pops. The cake dough, I have rolled it into 3 balls here, and now we are going to insert the stick. The stick is a very essential part of the cake pop, and this is how you get the sticks in the market. They have a groove on one side which gets inserted into the cake. The smooth surface remains outside and we hold it using the smooth surface. Now I have 3. You cannot just insert the cake pop stick right into the cake ball and expect it to hold. You need something to act as glue, and here what acts as glue is white chocolate. Not necessarily white chocolate, even dark chocolate, but I am using white chocolate. You melt white chocolate, sufficient amount of white chocolate, take your cake pop stick and dip it in to your white chocolate. Just tap off the excess chocolate and poke it right into the center of the cake pop, and there it stands. We will repeat it again. Dip your cake pop stick into the chocolate, drip off the excess and poke it right into your cake pop ball. There, that's how it stands. Now the chocolate inside the ball has to set. You can either keep it outside if the temperature of your room is cold, it's going to set very fast, else we'll pop it into the fridge. It's always better to pop the cake pop into the fridge for 10 to 15 odd minutes so that the cake pop, the ball included, sets very well. It chills so that you can dip it into chocolate. So what I am going to do now is I am going to place this in the fridge for 10 to 15 minutes, take it out and dip it in my chocolate after. We'll keep it in the fridge. Our cake pops have been setting in the fridge for 10 to 15 minutes. I've just taken them out. They are not very cold, but they have set nicely. The pop is holding its shape, which is very important because you don't want the cake pop to fall out. So we are going to make some smiley cake pops. To make a smiley cake pop, when you imagine a smiley, it's yellow in color. So you need a yellow coating for your cake pop. Yellow coating means you have to use a white colored chocolate colored with yellow. I use dust colors, chocolate dust colors to color my white chocolate, and I've got a lovely yellow here. The chocolate should not be very hot. See, again another thing that needs to be considered is that if the chocolate is very hot and the cake pop is very cold, there is an expansion that happens when the cake pop comes down to room temperature. It will crack the shell of your cake pop and it will look very ugly. So try and keep it as close to each other in terms of temperature, and it makes for better looking cake pops actually. So I am taking my cake pop, I have got my yellow colored chocolate here, I am going to dip my cake pop in and give it a swirl. I am going to lift it up and let the excess chocolate drip off. Don't tap at the stick or don't shake your stick, tap at your hand so that the chocolate keeps falling off. At the same time, rotate it ever so slightly so that all the excess chocolate just falls off and it has an even shine and tone to it. When you feel that all the excess chocolate has dripped off, move this to a thermocol sheet. These thermocol sheets are very handy because you can make holes in them and they serve as cake pop holders. Once this cake pop has set and the coating has set a little bit, it's yellow in color, the cake inside is dark, it's chocolate. So the color tends to fade a little, so it's always better to dip it a second time and give it a second coat, after which we'll do a decor. Taking my cake pop, it's set a little, quite okay. I'm going to dip it again a second time. I dipped it in, gave it a quick circle, a quick round, and again I'm dripping off the excess via chocolate into the pan. Tap at your hand, let all the excess chocolate drip off. And move it aside to set. We have dipped both the chocolate cake pops in yellow colored coating and I have kept it aside. Now for a smiley face, we need to make the eyes of the smiley. For that, we shall use black fondant. Take a piece of black fondant, knead it well, and take two tiny pieces for the eyes. Roll it into a circle and keep it aside. Likewise, take a little bit of white fondant. It's a speck of white in the black of your eye that gives you the illusion of life. So you need a small speck of white to add some life to the eyes. You flatten out the eye ever so slightly. Take a little bit of water with your brush and brush the eye ever so lightly with water. You don't want to add too much water because then the sugar in your fondant will start to melt and it will look very ugly. Take the small piece of white, add it to the end of the eye. Similarly, do it with the other one. Now you can take your cake pop, check the side where you want your eyes to be and dab a little bit of water. Take your eye and just press it in. We've put the eyes on our cake pop and now let's put a small smile for our cake pop too. Take a small piece of fondant, roll it out, taper the edges so that it looks like this, and let's stick it onto a cake pop. Dab at the area with a little bit of water. Let's stick a cake smiley there. Spread any color, you can just wipe it off with your brush, it will all go. There you go, your smiley cake pop.